Smokepit Fairytales by Trip Ainsworth, Chapter 18. Let the body parts hit the floor. The next morning, I sat in a booth at a diner with Penelope. We sat in the same seat to be closer to each other. I ordered 4 eggs. I had worked up a pretty decent appetite earlier that morning. Penelope woke up first, and I guess she decided that since we were both already naked, we might as well start the day off with sausage and tang. Penelope sipped her coffee and cut her waffle.
We don't have anything like coffee or tea.
Yeah? I drowned my eggs in hot sauce.
Nothing like it at all.
I looked over at Penelope. Babe?
Yes?
She looked at me with passion in her eyes. I drew my face closer to hers. She opened her lips to kiss me. You have, cum in your eyelash.
Damn it! Really?
She grabbed a napkin and started pulling at her eyelashes.
Is it noticeable?
Not unless you're close up, and even then people might think it's an eye booger. It's just a little speck. She kept wiping her eye.
Did I get it out?
I took a look. Yeah, you're good.
It's not funny.
Then why are you smiling?
I'm not.
She was. Okay, babe.
Maybe it's because I like you too much.
Can you like someone too much?
Yes.
She smiled over at me over her coffee.
You know what I've been thinking? You know that place you took me for our first date, the waterfall?
Yeah?
That would be a good place to go during a zombie apocalypse. You know, if one happened like in the movies.
Yeah, I could see that. Fresh water, and it's far enough away from populated areas that zombies probably wouldn't find you.
That's what I was thinking, yes.
What about an alien invasion?
Haven't you already had one of those?
Penelope asked, forcing confusion. Yeah, but I ended up probing the alien. Penelope nudged her shoulder into my arm.
Smart ass.
I mean, for real though, we could get invaded again. I mean, if you guys are out there, someone else has to be out there too.
I don't think a hostile invasion is something to really worry about. The galaxy takes too much time to navigate. The invaders would be on a one-way trip just to plunder a planet for whatever reason. They'd never get to go home to their loved ones. Even if they did, thousands of years would have passed. Everyone they plundered for would be long dead.
Do you think they'd get paid in their relative time, or the time that they'd been away relative from their planet?
That's a good question. But if you're going to be in outer space for that long, there's a good chance you're never coming home. Unless you manage to figure out hyperspace or wormholes, or how to travel faster than light.
Well, you guys took a risk coming out here on your own, not really knowing where you were going. Like, you found us by radio waves after you've been floating around for a while, right?
Yes, but it's also not like we were the only ship. There were 12, and we all set out in different directions from Verescent.
Interesting.
Actually, no, I was mistaken. There was one race that developed hyperdrive that we knew of, anyway. But they were almost like a legend, and I'm afraid I really don't know anything about them except for a few stories. The last we saw them was thousands of years ago. It would be feasible for them to invade you, if they had a reason.
So, what about why you guys left your planet in the first place? If you had 12 ships that big and sent them out all over the galaxy, there must have been something pretty bad going on.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that.
Penelope hadn't brushed her hair that morning. She had only ran her fingers through to pull out the knots. She braided her hair as we waited for the check. She didn't do it eloquently, just enough to hold it together and keep it out of her way.
So you and Eclair are getting together tonight?
Yeah, Jenny's out of town, so we're gonna go raise some hell. You can expect drunk texts and maybe a phone call, but I plan on getting so drunk that I forget how to speak English, so we'll see. I kissed Penelope goodbye when I dropped her off at her apartment and headed back up to Pendleton. I showered, put on my GNR shirt, and picked up a bottle of rum and a 30 rack on the way over to Margarita. Doc was sitting on the Mustang's trunk with a cigarette and a beer. I parked next to him and pulled a beer out of the back.
Sup, bro?
Doc asked. Not too much, just got back from San Diego a couple hours ago. Gonna get fucked up tonight.
Yeah? What are we doing?
I don't know, I'm still waiting on Eclair to call.
I figured you'd be hanging out with your chick. You're leaving her all alone on Saturday night. Shame.
She'll be alright. And I could use getting drunk and bullshit with you guys. I mean, like, I like Penelope and all, but I could talk to you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you, man.
I mean, I don't think I could talk to her about a lot of stuff. And if I did, she wouldn't understand.
I feel you. It's like, how the hell do you tell your chick that you just watched some guys burn to death and didn't do anything to help them?
Doc, didn't you shoot those dudes?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, dude, remember that time Fonzie went to throw smoke and we got hit with an RPG and he dropped a grenade into the truck and it smoked us out?
Yeah, man. It looked like we all got game fucked by Grimace.
And why the fuck was he trying to throw purple smoke anyway? I smiled at the mountain behind Camp Margarita and drank my beer. Ah, those were the good old days, man.
Yeah, but one day we're gonna look back and think these were the good days. You know how the military is. We're gonna get out and go home, and then we're never gonna see each other again, but for once a decade.
I knew Doc was right, and I didn't say anything. I just lit another cigarette.
So, I told you I'm dating this chick, right?
Filipina?
I already told you?
No, but I think I've only seen you with one chick that wasn't a little island person.
So I've been stereotyped.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Whatever floats your boat, man. I'm just waiting for you to come out of the closet.
Why would you think I'm gay?
Because you're in the Navy?
Ha ha. So I'm out with this chick Christy a couple of nights ago.
Dodging out a field day?
Yeah. So we're hanging out in Vista and...
Hold on a minute. My phone was buzzing in my pocket. Hey, it's Eclair. I pressed the answer button. What's up, dude?
Dude, where are you?
Eclair sounded scared. I'm out in the parking lot with Doc. You alright, man?
No, dude, I need you to come to my room.
What's the matter, man?
Just come down, man, and bring Doc. I fucked up real bad.
Alright, dude. Hold on. I put the phone back in my pocket.
What up?
I don't know, man. He's freaking out. We walked down and knocked on Eclair's door. He yanked open the door and pulled us in.
What's going on, man?
Eclair was visibly nervous. He was shaking and stuttering. His clothes were put on sloppy and his room was trashed.
So, you know how I had that dating profile on the internet?
Yeah, I answered. So what?
Did you accidentally get herpes from a tranny?
Doc joked.
No.
Eclair looked at the floor. His eyes were bulging out of his head and he started to shake more violently.
No, I stopped using it because the chicks were retarded and I figured Jenny would be enough.
Doc and I looked at each other confused, then back at Eclair.
Okay.
Well, Kelsey fucking found me on there.
Doc smirked.
I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, so what if Jenny leaves you? There's other chicks out there.
Oh man, that sucks. Is she gonna tell Jenny about it?
Kelsey said she wouldn't tell Jenny if I fucked her.
Oh, okay. Isn't that kind of what you were going for anyway? Eclair's eyes turned red and tears rolled down his cheeks.
She came over.
He stopped. His heavy breath was getting in the way of his speech. I said heartlessly, "Damn, dude, it couldn't have been that bad. What'd she do, throw in a dildo and butt fuck you with it?" Doc looked over at me.
Nah, dude, he probably just feels really ashamed of himself for cheating on his fiancée, and he's trying to talk to us about it, and you're being a dick.
Doc put his hands on Eclair's shoulder.
If you need to let it out, man, let it out. What happened next?
Kelsey. She came over, and we started making out. And then we got naked and started banging. And then I started choking her.
Sounds like a good time to me, dude. That chick had big old titties. Doc shot me a dirty look.
Okay, well, I mean, so you had freaky sex with your fiancé's best friend. It's not the end of the world.
Eclair looked Doc in the eye, reached behind him, and ripped the sheets off the bed. Kelsey laid there, her face contorted, her eyes lopsided, and she was completely motionless. Doc and I stared at her in horror. Dude, is she?
Yeah.
Eclair answered before I could say, dead.
Holy shit, dude!
Doc, keep it down! I grabbed the bedsheet and threw it back over Kelsey's corpse. Eclair didn't look back at the body.
I don't know what to do.
Well, you obviously knew to make us accomplices. Eclair glared at me. I'm sorry, dude.
Well, we can cut her up and feed her to coyotes,
Doc said, scratching his head. Really, Doc? That's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, let's hear your ideas, jackass.
Dump her in the sewer?
Did you just watch 50 Shades of Dave?
Yeah, I missed the ending, though.
Ah, dude, that's the best part. Dave goes and...
Dudes!
Eclair cut us off.
I got a dead bitch in my room.
We stood there silently for a few moments before Doc suggested,
How about we bury her on an impact range?
Huh?
Think about it. Put her in an impact area. People don't go through there a lot because artillery is always blasting the place. And if we bury her shallow enough, coyotes will dig her up and tear her apart, and 777 will blow her into tiny little pieces.
Okay, good idea, but how do we know they're not shooting right now? I don't want to get blown into hamburger meat trying to get rid of a dead chick.
Well, to be fair, it wouldn't be the first time you got hit with an artillery round.
Eclair said, trying to cheer himself up. Doc and I mean-mugged him. You're funny, dude.
And to be fair, this isn't the first time you've killed anyone.
Yeah, but that was different.
Eclair defended himself. Okay, so we put her on an impact range. How do we get her out of the barracks? I stood there thinking for a second. We could stuff her in a sea bag.
I don't think she'll fit a sea bag.
Okay, well, we cut her up and put her in 2 sea bags. I looked at Eclair. You got any?
Just one.
Okay, Eclair, you go to the PX and buy a few sea bags and bleach. Just hang out in your car for a few minutes first to pull yourself together. Doc and I'll stuff her into garbage bags. Eclair nodded his head and started out the door. And use cash. With Eclair gone, I turned to Doc. You cool, man?
Yeah?
Yeah, me either. Go get your K-bar real quick and some trash bags. I'll stand post. Doc ran up to his room and I sat with my back to the door. God damn it. I leaned over, opened Eclair's nightstand, and pulled out his K-bar. Doc returned and I locked the door. I went to the bed and put my arms under Kelsey's shoulders. Doc grabbed her feet. We hauled her to the bathroom and placed her in the shower. The bathrooms in the barracks had a decent-sized shower. They were about as long as a bathtub, but just a flat faux porcelain floor.
How do you want to do this, man?
Well, I kind of want to fuck her first.
Really, dude?
I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding, but seriously?
Well, I didn't fucking choke her out.
That just makes this more fucked up.
Well, shit. How do we even know she's dead? Maybe she's just unconscious. Doc leaned into the shower and grabbed Kelsey's face. He felt for a pulse and did something else with her eyes and mouth.
Nah, she's fucking dead, man.
Well, we should probably cut her at the joints.
Why not just in half?
Because then we're gonna have to deal with all the guts. You know, like when you're skinning a buck and there's that sack all the organs are in?
I'm pretty sure the internal organs of a deer and that of a human fucking being are just a little bit different.
Yeah, but guts.
Okay, we'll get her at the joints.
Cool. I'll get the arms.
The fuck you will. I'm not cutting the legs off with her pussy that close. It already smells bad enough.
You're a needy bitch, you know that, Doc?
Fuck you, dude.
You're the medical professional. You should be doing all of this.
I'm a corpsman, not a fucking surgeon. And you have more experience cutting people up than I do.
Doc, if you don't start cutting legs off, I'm gonna start fucking her.
I'll cut off one leg.
He raised a finger.
One. And an arm. You get the other side. Fair?
Doc and I each grabbed an arm and started sawing into Kelsey's shoulders.
Why the fuck are we doing this anyway?
Because we don't want Eclair to go to jail and he would do it for us. Blood started to pool in the shower. I had cut about halfway through the shoulder. Doc, you ever listen to Slayer?
Ah, shut the fuck up, Hank.
I started to sing Spill the Blood. Doc chopped through the rest of Kelsey's arm and slapped me in the face with her hand. I looked back up at Doc. Really? And you're saying I'm the one who screwed up?
You are the one who screwed up. Talking about fucking her and shit?
I mean, I'm still down for that. Her pussy's intact. I picked up Kelsey's other arm and rubbed her clit in a circular motion with her fingers. Huh? Doc kept a vexed look on his face, gritted his teeth, and started slicing away at Kelsey's leg.
You're going to fucking hell, dude.
I'm just fucking around, dude. I started cutting at the other leg.
Yeah, and that's fucked up.
All right. We finished cutting off Kelsey's limbs and wrapped them tightly inside of garbage bags. We placed them by the toilet and turned on the water in the shower. I think we did a pretty good job about not leaving much blood. We didn't even get more than a few splatters on our clothes. We walked out to the catwalk and lit cigarettes. Doc had a blank stare.
You know, I always thought the most fucked up thing I'd ever do is something in Iraq.
Yeah, and what was that?
I don't know, just something. I never really saw myself doing this.
Yeah, but it's for a friend, and he'd legitimately probably do it for us.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, man?
Do you think there's enough time before Eclair comes back to cut off her face and wear it like a mask and jump out and scare him?
Dude, you seriously need to see a psychiatrist.
Come on, Doc. I tickled his arm with my index finger. Doc smiled a little bit. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard. Doc chuckled with a slight hint of insanity and ran his hand over his head.
We're fucking going to hell. We're going straight to hell. We're not passing go. We're not collecting $200.
I'm sure Doc was convinced I was a psychopath, but if I hadn't found a way to laugh, I probably would have had to kill myself out of disgust. I had the feeling that I needed to take a shower, but I knew no matter how much I scrubbed, whatever I was trying to get rid of wouldn't wash off. Water can only clean so much. Comedy blankets the internal wounds. The Camaro rolled into the parking lot, and Eclair came back carrying sea bags. We stuffed Kelsey's trash bag colored body parts into the olive green bags and carried them to my Jeep.
So where are we taking these?
I'm thinking Case Springs. I jumped into the driver's seat. Doc rode shotgun and Eclair got in the back with the bags. We took off towards Pendleton's Mountains as the sun set over the hills behind us. We pulled off Basilone Road and I put the Jeep in four-wheel drive. I stopped when we were deep in the mountain range, surrounded by craters. I pulled out the shovel I kept in the bag for camping and we took turns digging. It was my turn to dig. I lifted the earth from the ground and put it in a nice little pile next to the hole.
What are we gonna do now?
Doc asked himself. Well, we could either run away to Mexico or join the Mafia. My vote's for Mexico. The chicks are hotter. I flung out more dirt.
I'm probably gonna drink myself to death.
No, seriously, what the fuck are we going to do now?
Get seriously fucked up? I eyeballed the hole and crawled out. I think this is good enough. I handed Eclair the shovel and Doc and I kicked in the bags. A couple hours later, the Jeep was parked at the peak of Mount Margarita, or Recon Hill, or the Dragon's Back, depending on who you ask. It was a pain in the ass to get the Jeep up there, even in four-wheel drive. The path was almost vertical and not very wide. Eclair, Doc, and I each had a bottle of something strong. We drank and smoked sitting in the dirt a few feet away from the Jeep, looking over Camp Margarita. We drank in silence, staring at the buildings below.
Okay, so I've been thinking. We can't tell anyone about this.
No shit, really?
Eclair barked back.
Well, people always get caught and go to prison because they tell other people.
Yeah, but we all did something.
But we can't tell anyone else.
Doc had probably lit 8 cigarettes and only taken a combined total of 10 puffs the entire time we were on the mountain. His current one was burning into the filter. Eclair looked over at Doc.
Dude, I'm about to marry a girl and I can't even really talk to her about the war. Who the fuck am I gonna tell?
Oh, well, we at least have each other to talk about it. I put out my cigarette. Shit, we already only really talk about Iraq with people who were fucking there. Just treat it like that. If we just talk to each other about it, it probably won't drive us insane.
There's already something seriously fucking wrong with you, dude.
I rolled my eyes. And I take it you're fine?
No, I'm not fine. I just cut to be Claire's fuck buddy.
She wasn't my fuck buddy. That bitch was blackmailing me.
Then why are we so upset? I mean, obviously there was something wrong with that bitch. She was blackmailing people, and I don't think I've spent more than an hour with her and not seen her go find some random dick to suck. Shit, we all probably got syphilis from dealing with her. Fuck her, dude. Fuck her right in the pussy. She was a fucking asshole. I'm not saying that she deserved to get chopped up and thrown in a shallow grave, but are we really missing anything from her not being around?
Yeah, I guess.
Doc mumbled and turned his head to Eclair.
You should probably burn your sheets and delete your online dating profiles.
Ginny's gonna freak out.
Eclair shook his head. No, she's not. How the fuck would she even know? I lit another cigarette. Just pretend you haven't seen her.
And what? Just remember that sometimes you have to chain smoke your problems away?
That's the spirit. I patted Eclair's back. I drove us back down the mountain at about 2 miles an hour. The terrain was rough and I was plastered. I didn't want to roll the Jeep down a cliff and get killed. I parked the Jeep next to the Mustang and racked out in Doc's room that night. In the morning, Doc and I went to make sure Eclair was all right. We peered through the window and he was passed out on what used to be my rack. I smoked a cigarette with Doc and drove to the 101 Cafe for breakfast.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to Smokepit Fairytales Chapter 18. I'd like to thank my voice actors Chuck, LaVoki, Dan, Brady, and Diane Spencer. And I'd also like to thank all my Patreon people and people who've bought the War Chest. Alright, I'll catch you around.
I picked up Kelsey's other arm and rubbed her clit in a circular motion with her fingers. Fuck. I'm going to hell. Okay.
We're gonna get out and go home, and then we're never gonna see each other but once for a decade. But for once a decade. We're never gonna see each other but for once a decade. But for once a decade. Alright, try that again. Weird line, bro.
Do you think there's enough time before Eclair comes back to cut off her face and wear it like a mask at Chapin's?
I wonder if you can hear my dog in that clip. I didn't do the line very well anyway.
There was one race that developed hyperdrive that we knew of. Right, sorry.
I don't know what that last one was, but I'm gonna leave it.
Then we're never going to see each other again but for once a decade. But for once a decade. Why can't I say that? And then we're never going to see each other again but for once a decade.
She'll be alright. And I could use getting drunk and bullshit with you guys. With my you guys.
Yeah, but one day we're going to get... God damn it. Why? Why this line? There you go. Now you can have it coyotes or coyotes. However the fuck you think he talks.
I just ate too, man. Fuck.
I'm not doing that line 2 more times. You're settling with coyotes. Trip, I feel like this line was directed at me based on historical conversations we've had.
There you go. Right, next scene. I'm just going to do that line again.
Oh, god damn. Oh, pardon me. Oh. My apologies. God damn it. This is why I shouldn't drink before I do this.
Do we want to stop making body noises today?